Electric airplanes could be taking over the skies in the near future. Elon Musk previously suggested that he wants to be involved in creating an electric plane. During a sit-down with Joe Rogan, Musk said he'd like to see some kind of supersonic jet that doesn't need a runway to take off. Musk was referring to making a supersonic jet version of a VTOL, vertical takeoff and landing, aircraft, a type of vehicle that can leave the ground and land vertically. It does sound like a great concept, but there are various obstacles Tesla needs to hurdle for it to come to fruition. According to Musk, Tesla's capability to produce a plane faces the problem of acquiring the appropriate, efficient resources. In a separate podcast, Musk admitted that making aircraft is a completely different game. "I think it's incredibly hard to bring an aircraft to production and meet all of the regulatory requirements worldwide," he said. While the idea of a Tesla plane is undoubtedly intriguing, it's important to note that the aviation industry is uniquely complex and demanding. Developing an electric aircraft that meets safety, regulatory, and performance standards presents a significant challenge, even for a visionary like Elon Musk. For Elon to make a plane, he'd have to pause other activities. He also said that money isn't the issue, but the lack of exceptional engineers. There have been several studies and patents published by car makers like Tesla and Hyundai for a prototype of cars that could carry 3 to 4 passengers while in flight. Tesla would need to develop a sense of urgency and present their most impressive works ASAP, since other companies invest in this kind of technology too. Will the Tesla plane be a better type of airplane compared to the traditional ones? Aside from lacking practicality, traditional planes are very costly to operate. The Concorde, despite being able to travel from New York to London in just 3.5 hours, was discontinued since it damaged the ozone layer, and fueling it was too expensive. It also needed more precautions when taking off and landing. However, the electric plane can eliminate these problems. Overall, an electric plane would be cheaper since they require batteries and not gas. Shortening the runway distance has been suggested by Musk. As mentioned before, he'd like a plane that can do an upward thrust and shift to a forward thrust, giving it the ability to take off like a drone. Since the estimated power for an aircraft to take off would be just 400 watt-hours per kilogram, the idea is very probable. Provided the percentage of the cell of the aircraft is high, explained Musk. As a matter of fact, an electric plane can go for a decent range, even when operating at 70% of 400 watt-hours per kilogram. While everything sounds good, one huge problem Tesla is going to have when making a plane is the batteries, something Musk had admitted. It's important to remember that batteries, despite their strength, can only store so much energy. It's simply not possible to transport and transfer electricity in the same way that fuels can. Making more efficient batteries is one of Tesla's main priorities, and that could be achieved in the next few years. During a long trip, a fully charged Tesla car requires a couple of pit stops. A plane doesn't have that luxury, but no worries. Companies are exploring methods to improve battery performance without increasing their size. Another problem would be safety. There are multiple precautions that can be taken to prevent damage to an airplane's fuel tank, and if damage does occur, it can be mitigated because electric planes are still in their infancy. There is not yet enough data or certifications to establish a safety protocol in the event of a battery failure. Regularly checking for faults in the battery is also really expensive compared to simply checking the fuel pipes further in the event of an emergency during takeoff or landing. A conventional aircraft can dump fuel to reduce the likelihood of an explosion. But if a battery catches fire, there's no way to safely remove it from the aircraft. Given all those issues, is Tesla willing to go out of its way to try to solve them? Elon Musk is the type of guy who seeks out problems solely for the purpose of solving them. So people interested in the Tesla plane can expect the company to also find solutions to the issues concerning the idea. Problems associated with an electric plane aren't as significant as many think they are. Supersonic jets have previously demonstrated that they can take off vertically. Sadly, electric planes could only fly for relatively short distances, compared to traditional planes with a limited speed of no more than 25 miles per hour.